Oh, see, for this little section presentation, I would like to speak a little bit about our journeys and try to put into a bit of a small explanation what to expect when a journey is being experienced or when we're on a journey. Canoe journeys are very, very popular on the coast. A lot of our families are taking to the water, taking to our canoes, because it's providing us with our a way to enjoy our history by not only remembering the things that our ancestors did, but also doing the things that our ancestors did, which allows us to experience those same experiences, allows us to see through our ancestors' eyes, and allows us to appreciate life as it should be appreciated on the coast. What better way than to be out on the water with a family, a canoe family, in a seagoing canoe, with all the necessities, of course, camping gear. We'll bring along a cook. We'll bring along somebody that's that is spiritually wise, and we participate in the canoe in a daily fashion, in a weekly fashion, and then also for the journey. So again, a lot of homework, learning our songs, learning what we can be sharing, and who's going to be in those villages, meaning that who we should be acknowledging. And the preparation before going on this journey should be about at least 2 months anyway, so that we can get ourselves physically fit. We can have our, our background of songs, dances, and what we should be sharing at every given stop. We'll know who's at those places. If we're related to anyone there, then we acknowledge that, our families, our extended families. And there's one of those old sayings that everybody on the coast is related. That's pretty accurate, actually, because we've moved around a lot, and there are a lot of legends and history of people who have become a part of another nation through one way or another, through someone coming to attack the village, looking for, they would look for slaves, they would look for people to do all their nasty work for them, and just for whatever reason, people would move. I'm going to have presentations in the future which are going to speak to the legends locally, which will speak to how we are connected to the other nations through warfare and through those times. But the canoe journeys that we go on every summer are called tribal journeys, and we go through a selection process. We go through a training process of going out in the water 2 or 3 times a week. We also prepare ourselves through sweat lodge, other physical activities like running, and whatever else, physically, to condition ourselves for those long days of paddling. We can be in those canoes 8 hours, 10 hours a day, and approximately 10 days be about average for a journey. And so we're looking at that much time in the water, in a canoe on the water. So we need to be prepared. So there's got to be a way to do that. And it is becoming a family. It's a way of becoming a family of the water through our working together, training together, conditioning, learning what we can do together as a family to represent our nation when we take the floor of a longhouse. Um, Longhouses are at every main village throughout the West Coast. In that, if, for instance, if you go to Kwakwaka'wakw territory, depending on where you are, if you go to Campbell River, they have a huge main longhouse there, right within the city limits. And then you go to Alert Bay, and they have a huge longhouse there as well. They call them big houses up there. We call them longhouses in Coast Salish territory because they're long. And they're longer than they are anything else, but they're still fairly huge. Our main longhouse for Squamish territory back in the day used to be over in Stanley Park, and they say that that longhouse was something like 200 feet long by 80 feet wide by 60 feet high, and a lot of gatherings would take place there. And a lot of families lived in those longhouses when there weren't any ceremonies going on. Over in Stanley Park, a place called Hoi Hoi, they had about a half a dozen families in that one longhouse. And so these longhouses are located at every village. Every nation has a main longhouse. Every nation probably has more than one longhouse. They have different houses for the same purpose, ceremony and what have you. So we have to be very mindful of what we're going to be doing when we get to those places, those longhouses. So a lot of preparation. We will prepare by taking our canoes on short runs, and then on weekends we'll do a long run. And then we learn all the things that we can be doing, we should be doing, the little intricacies of canoe protocol, meaning that canoes are held in high status within the social structure of a nation. Squamish Nation, the canoes are held in a high status. They are taken care of respectfully, and things, the teachings of our canoes, what they provide are also held very, very highly. So the canoe has a place in our social or family structure. We don't turn our backs on the canoes. When we put our canoes away, they are always facing the water. We have a ceremony for doing that, sleeping ceremony. We call our crew together, set the table, and then we talk about how we've just spent that last little while with our canoes. And then we sing it a little lullaby and put it away for the winter. And the opposite is done near the end of spring, where the canoes are woke up, and we do another ceremony to wake them up, to welcome them back into, to our daily activities. And then ceremonies to brush negativity off of there. All of these things which describe the significance of the importance of our canoes helps bind us together, to bond us, so that when we are on the water, we have huge respect for where we are, how we're going to conduct ourselves when we're on the water, and working as a family so that all of us can arrive safely, healthily at our destination, which is probably, well, it's the cherry on top. They say that the journey is as important as the destination, sometimes even more important, because we learn a lot of traditions, a lot of teachings while we're on the journey. From other canoes, from our own experience, we learn a lot about how we should be carrying ourselves in life, and things that are important become very obvious. Thank you.